Right, race 2 then. So reverse grid this time. So anyone who's watched this series will know that if you won the first race, you start right at the back for the second one, and if you finish right at the back in the first one, you start right at the front in the second one. So we've got this always churns up some interesting racing, because you've got the guys that finished at the back that want to defend the lead at the start. So you've got people like Mad Marshall, Dragon Eagle, Nissan Elvis, Big Bad Bud. At the start, they'll be wanting to solidify the top few grid spots for the first couple of corners at the very least. Then you've got the faster guys, well, I'm saying inverted commas faster guys, but the people that finished first and second, third, fourth, fifth and stuff at the top in the first race wanting to get back through again. So the first of the runners obviously that we're going to sort of focus on is going to be Buddy, who's in 6th, and you got Viali in 7th, Cutler, who be interesting to see if he makes the same sort of start as he did before. So remember that Cutler started in 8th position, and we'll come back to him. Burnt Fry, who's going to want to beat Diablo in this one, and he should get a better start given the drivetrain layout of his car. Diablo in 10th. Doesn't always start too well, Diablo. His starts seem to be an issue for him. Pay in 11th, and then I'm right at the back of the grid. Loving life, looking down at 11 cars ahead of me, wondering what the hell I'm going to do. So we'll get underway with this one. I am aware of a couple of incidents we're going to review. I've not been sent any tasty overtakes and stuff yet, so hopefully I'll just see them as they go. There's going to be a lot of action in this race, especially in the first couple of laps. I'm not going to be able to capture it all. If I miss something that you thought I should have covered, then should have sent it to me. But hopefully we'll get round to everyone, and we'll give everyone a little bit of coverage. So let's get underway then. So Mad Marshall's going to hopefully get us into the first corner in first position. Dragon Eagle alongside him in second. So lights out, away they go. Everyone gets away cleanly at the start. Doesn't seem to be any dramas. Buddy seems to make an excellent start. So does Cutler, to be fair, because Cutler's straight up a position as well. Everyone getting through cleanly as it stands, and just as I say that, looks like Burnt Fry's lost the back end of his car and he's off. Let's have a quick flick through the grid. Dragon Eagle takes first place straight away. Cutler takes 4th. I'm aware of an incident at this corner, so I'm just going to follow on with Buddy just for a little bit, because it looks like as he goes around this corner, Mad Marshall just gives him a tap, sends him off in the grass. You probably don't see this bit on camera, but I hit him as part of that. So we'll go on board with me, because I'm a good barometer for this bit, and we'll just rewind it a little bit. So this is what I was watching at the time. So as it stands, I'm backing off a little bit. Nowhere for me to really go. There's cars everywhere, but he does rejoin the track, and I've just got nowhere to go. I didn't actually know at that time it was him. I actually thought it was Burnt Fry, but there we go. And then I see Burnt Fry right behind me, so I thought, oh, he must have got back up to speed again. I get another little tap here. I think it's just a racing incident. I was a bit annoyed about it at the time. Thought Pay had nudged me off, but I watched it back and he didn't. It was just one of them little taps, but that unfortunately puts me right down to 11th position. We'll pause it there though, because remember who I said started in 8th position? Well, he's now up into 2nd. Cutler looks to have took advantage of all that chaos, so let's just go on board with him here. So Cutler's worked his way up to 6th now. He's going to take Buddy. He's in 4th before we've even got to the first corner. Does get a bit of a whack, keeps it together, and he's going to take advantage of all this battling. Does back out of a move on Mad Marshall, who was sat on the apex, and he's up to 2nd before turn 3's even out of the way. You see the melee kicking off behind there, look. Look at that, absolute chaos. Just look back from Nissan Elvis's car. The first, in these reverse sprint races, the first couple of corners are always absolute mayhem, because those guys want to get up. See, that's what I thought. That's what I meant about the Pay nudge, but it wasn't his fault. So I'm not calling you out on that one, Pay. If I thought you were at fault, I'd have called you out a while ago. So first few corners done, we should start to now see the field spread a little bit more. As we cut into Dragon Eagle, who's led from T1. He got past Mad Marshall and has led since. He's got Cutler chasing him down, but Dragon Eagle is someone who, although we often see him at the back end of a grid, and I mean that with all respect, he does actually race really well. It's really strange seeing him down there because I've raced against him and I know he's got racecraft, so hopefully he can hold Cutler off. Meanwhile, we just saw F13 get a little bit loose but holds it together. Diablo's absolutely charging through the pack. He wants a good result here. If he's got any hope of winning the championship, he needs good points. Definitely needs to outscore Burntfire, who's currently in 8th and is charging through the pack as we speak. Looks like Page just loses it in the background. Let's have a look what happens there. So does he just get on the loud pedal? Yeah, just gets 2 wheels on this. Gets on the loud pedal, unfortunately. That is easily done when you're pushing. So Burntfire up to 7th. At this time being, I'm in 9th. I've managed to make a few places up. So my point of view at this time, I've started fuel saving now. In these races, you only get half a tank. I'm on the medium tyre. What I started noticing about this point now, I was actually focusing on my race, was that grip was awful. And I think it's because we're racing at a different time of day, so the track temp's a lot lower. The medium tyres need more heat to work, and they weren't getting it. My lap times were shocking. I was running 146s, 147s, if I remember rightly, throughout the race. And I now need to. I wanted to make these tyres and fuel last 8 laps if I could. That was sort of my strategy. Go in, fuel up, attack on softs, because I know on softs what my pace is, and I know I can get them in the window quite quickly and get them to work quite well. So I've got Big Bad Bud to get past here, and then I've got a few cars that I need to make moves on. I know Burntfire's up in 6th. He's my natural target that I want to get to. I know he's in a battle with Elvis and Viali, so they'll be holding him up. And all the while, me and Big Bad Bud are catching up to this. We're getting on the back of that fight already. So at this minute in time, I just wanted to get past Big Bad Bud and get involved in it. I'm being patient. I do get a better run out of this corner. I think it is. Is it on this lap? I'm not too sure if it's this lap or next. Might be next. Yeah, it's next. I'm just sticking on the slipstream for 147.6. And I was lapping 144s, 145s last time, so these tyres aren't working for me. I wanted these tyres off. If I could make a full tank of fuel last like 15 laps, I would have pitted. But I wouldn't have been able to do that, so I didn't. So following the action then, at the minute we've got Cutler, who's got past Dragon Eagle. So Cutler's on the soft tyre. He's going to have to do his last stint on the mediums. He doesn't yet know it, but that tyre is shocking, and he will have a bit of a bad time in the bit. So he'll want to maximise this stint, so he needs to really be fuel saving to get 6+ laps out of those tyres. Dragon Eagle has got Diablo chasing him down, who's obviously wanting to maximise his points out of this race. I've just managed to get past Big Bad Bud. I think he made a mistake if I remember rightly. And that took me past Nissan Elvis as well. So I'm up into 7th, chasing Burntfire down. Burntfire's going to be involved in a fight with Viali for a little bit. I remember watching this eagerly. Of course, at this stage, I'm not. You have to back off your racer instincts, and I say that with a little bit of a cringe going as well, because all I want to do at this point is whack it into fuel mix 1 and push like nuts, but I know if I do that I'm just going to shoot myself in the foot, because Burntfire will be fuel saving in this bit now. Comparing fuel, I've got a little bit less than Burntfire's. I didn't know that at the time. Burntfire's got a slipstream helping him along, and he can naturally short shift a little bit, or perhaps knock his fuel mix down a little bit, who knows. I haven't got that luxury at this stage. I'm just hoping that natural pace, so I'm going quicker, I'm 6 tenths up like that. The win in race 1 gave me a ton of confidence going into this, because this is normally my downfall, this race. I normally don't perform well in this one. If I just puts in a personal best, sorry, an all-time best first sector. I'm catching him slowly but surely. I'm getting in his slipstream, so I'm not too far away from it now. Target is to be in his slipstream by the time the big first straight comes around. I need a couple of laps in his slip, ideally. Meanwhile, Bertfry's probably happy behind Viale as it stands. Viale's lapping at a good pace. Doesn't necessarily need to pass him. Doesn't need to make Viale go defensive, because that'll just cost them both time. What they don't want to do is lose time to me, because if I get a sniff of a move, I'll probably take it. After that first lap melee, I was in a little bit of a bad mood, so I just wanted to get on with it. Checking in with the guys at the front, and Dragon Eagle's still holding off Diablo. So Diablo, we know, is on pace, one of the fastest guys on the circuit. So I told you Dragon Eagle could race. 13's carrying a bit of a penalty, not too sure what that's for at this stage. Meanwhile, Bertfry, does he try to send one down? Viale, he does. I think he just gets the slipstream there. So they're now starting to fight. And I remember being at this bit and thinking, yes, this is what I need them to be doing, because you see visually I'm getting in this fight now. I'm pulling them both in, and if I can get on the tail end of that by the end of this lap, I'll be quite happy, given how my race is going so far. I'm not exactly flying on these tyres. I don't feel like I've got the confidence. This corner that we're going around now, normally is a foot down corner in the softs, but in the mediums you're having to partial throttle and feather it all the way through, especially in the BMW. It's very tail happy. Nissan Elvis has kept his 8th, so he's fighting off very fast drivers behind him in Big Bad Bud and Buddy. Buddy's obviously the lad that was collected in that incident for the 2nd time in a row at the start of the race, so he's had a couple of rounds to forget. Someone with the potential to do good when he's not involved in them sort of issues. He's a fast lad. As he makes a good move there on Big Bad Bud, just outbrakes him coming into the hairpin, so he's now up into 9th position. He's obviously running in 11th as we speak, after an incident, I believe. So Cutler pits. So Cutler's only managed to make those tyres last 5 laps and fuel, sorry, so he's on 19% fuel. This is going to promote me up into 6th position. So I'm now chasing Viale down. We're entering our pit stop window. I've now managed to save enough fuel, because I've been running a slipstream for a lap or two. I've managed to save enough fuel to the guys in front, just go on board with us for a second. So you'll see my short shifting, and at the minute I'm running in a leaner fuel mix as well, just to save it. I'm getting some slip. I'm not too bothered about attacking them. I don't want to lose them obviously, but I'm not fighting. Viale just makes a little bit of a mistake up ahead. We can see 3rd position. Diablo's now promoted into a net race lead, but all those guys are yet to pit. So we've got to go into the pits soon. All those guys I think are running the mediums as well, so I'm in the mediums, so is Viale. Bertfry's took a little bit more out of his rears than anyone else has. Me and Viale have managed to save tyres as we speak, so I can't remember if I pit this lap or not. As Viale makes a mistake there, that's going to promote me up into 5th position. I'm right on Bertfry's tail now. Bertfry at the same point is having to just get very creative with F13, who's made a mistake going around that very twisty section. F13 then sort of gets in my way, for want of a better word. but it's going to be a drag race between the Mercedes and the BMW coming down the straight. I get a better run out of the corner, which is going to promote me up into third position. So I just do get the move done. I think F13 does a good thing here and just backs out of it. I didn't want to fight that one too much. So I'm now up into third on the road. I've got to pit yet. The only person that's pitted is Cutler behind, and Dragon Eagle obviously, who we can see in the pit. But Cutler now on his long stint, but he's got some fuel saving to do, so I knew that, and I knew he wouldn't necessarily be pushing too hard because he's on a slower tyre and he's got to fuel save. I didn't know what tyre he was on, but I guessed with the early pit stop and the pace he had at the start, I did guess he was on the soft. I'm flashing my lights at burnt fires just to get on his nerves. He put his indicators on, so I just started flashing at him just to wind him up. I give him a lot of grief, but we actually get on in real life. Just call him a knobhead from time to time. So now then, we're coming up to our pit stops. I'm right on his tail. I was just better on the brakes into that corner. I don't know what it was. I was just able to brake 10 metres later than him. I was catching him there every single time, but he was faster in sector 1, I think it was, and I was faster in the back 2 sectors. So I was gaining time. So we're now both going to come in. The question on my mind was fuel. So we didn't need to tank the tanks as we both come in for our pit stops. What I opted to do was I opted to overfuel slightly because I'd been fuel saving for 7 laps. I knew that if I filled up to the indicated amount, I'd have to continue fuel saving. So what I did was I overfueled the car. Let's see, Cutler goes through. Yeah, so I overfueled the car, and what you're gonna see is that in hindsight it was probably a mistake. So coming to the pits with about the same amount of fuel as Burntfry did. I fuel up way more by about 10%. I put in about 10% more fuel than needed, and the gap, well, you can see it. In fact, as Dragon Eagle cuts us off, but you can see the gap now between me and Burntfry, so I've got to close that all back in again. I knew at this point that I'd probably cocked up a little bit. I was just hoping that Burntfry could, in a sense, slow down. Being honest with myself, I knew I knew I had the pace on this track, but I was still feeling the low track temps. So I probably wasn't going to be running in the 44s. My plan was here to run in the 45s, still keep it safe, but now I can push. Now I'm basically on power 1, go for it, basically. Managed to make a move on Dragon Eagle to get myself up into 5th. Now the next car on the road is Burntfry. The gap was, as you can visibly see, I'm all the way back there. Gap's about 5-6 seconds, to be fair, if I remember rightly. It's quite a big gap, and he's on push as well, so he can go for it. So we're both now racing to the finish, 10 laps. We'll just keep an eye on the lap times. Meanwhile, Buddy, who's had an awful start, brings himself into the pits. That's going to promote Cutler back up into the net lead of the race. Cutler, looking at his fuel, he's gone off to pit again. So he's underfueled his car, so he's gone for a second stint on softs. So he's 2-stopping. The reason I'm not talking is because I'm wondering why he would have done that. Did he accidentally start on the soft tyre when he didn't mean to, and now he's just switched his strategy up? I don't know. Love to know why, because it's curious if that was a tactical or a reactive decision. Diablo got enough fuel in that car to go right to the end, and he will be doing. So he is just out of the pits, and he's going to be doing his standard 10 lap stint on the soft tyre, and he's got a big old gap to get to Burnt Fry. So technically, once Cutler pits again, Diablo will assume the lead of the race, with Burnt Fry in second, and I should be on for a third place, at least, but I want second. I'm probably realistic enough to know that a win's out of the question for this one, given the incidents we've been involved in and overfueling and stuff. Just generally not making the best out of the situation we were in. We did start at the back, remember, but I'm reeling him in all the while. So my battle scarred M6 getting me through. Dragon Eagle's still in 5th, so he's doing really well so far as our Dragon Eagle. Racing around quite well today. F13's also doing a sterling job in 6th. With Buddy fighting off a very racy Viali. Viali was in the mood for this. He was racing really well. I've started racing with Viali as well in the GTTCC, and you're going to see some videos on that coming out soon. So we got the very famous, biggest racing league on Gran Turismo Sport that I'm a part of. Me and Viali are in the same league for that one, so you're going to see a lot more of him. Pay is in 9th position. We've had a couple of dropouts in this race, a couple of people quit out. So back to Cutler then, our race leader, who's gone off to pit again, so he's not going to make 8 laps on that fuel. And he's also got to take the medium tyre as well. That unfortunately is going to send him backwards. Diablo's within his pit window, so that what I mean by that is if Cutler pitted, Cutler would stand no chance of getting out in front of him, just because of the amount of time it takes to make a pit stop, which wasn't too bad at Catalyst. That might be one reason why the pit loss time here isn't dramatic. It's not that bad. Burnt Fry takes a little bit too much curb there. I run it just about right. Burnt Fry gets away with that. I don't think he gets a penalty. Lucky swine. But you can see from my POV I'm gaining. I'm back in the 145s. Mind you, so is he. Yeah, we're both pushing hard. If I remember rightly from the split times on this, because this is obviously a battle I've got very good memories of, until the last lap, which you'll see why. I was gaining on this kid all the way through. He was pulling the gap in sector 1 because the Lambo's just quicker in that sector because it's all high speed. And then the second and third sectors I was pulling that time back in and gaining again. So I was gaining, not enough at this point, but I was gaining, so I was quite happy with that. Burnt Fry puts in a 1:44.3, which is currently the fastest lap of the race. Oh wait, 1 minute, I've got that, 1:44.1, just remembered. He had it, then I took it off him. So yeah, you can see I'm about 2 tenths quicker per lap at this minute in time, which, yeah, it's good, but it's not enough. So I need more. So Dragon Eagle still running around in 5th, and my bottle of water pops for some reason. Just have a quick look through the pack and see how everyone's getting on. Let's see how Cutler's fuel tank's looking. Oh, not great. Couple of laps left in that. He's going to have to pit probably next lap or lap 13 if he really wants to push his luck. Diablo is closing him in. Yeah, Cutler pits now. So let's see where he comes out. I think I remember passing him while he's in the... So I'm in his pit window now and I'm back here. So if I remember rightly, I pass him in the pits, but we'll just keep an eye on it. Let's see what happens, because he doesn't need to take that much fuel. So the Ferrari's still in the pit, so I take him. Can't remember where he comes out. I think he does come out behind me. Yeah, he's coming out now. But it looks like Dragon Eagle. Is Dragon Eagle going to get him? No, Dragon Eagle doesn't get past Cutler, I'm afraid. So he does come out in 4th. I'd love to say in all positivity that he's got an opportunity of getting a third, but we'll see. The guys up ahead like me, Burntfire and Diablo, are pushing like nuts now, and there's no giving any of us. We're not gonna give these positions up easy. There's good space in between us all. Unless one of us makes a mistake, you can be pretty much assured this is probably how it'd finish. So the battle for basically the battle for first is what we're going to focus in on, I guess, because as I pick up a half-second penalty just for daring to go near the curbs on turn 10. Fucking game, honestly. Cutler's now running to the end. He's got the medium tyre on, which he, quote, after the race said was terrible. As you can see, he's got no grip. Like, it's an awful tyre. Dragon Eagle's probably experiencing the same thing, but he's used to that now. He's done a few laps on that tyre, so he's got it in the window. What I mean by he's got the tyre working is you have to work the tyre temps. Each tyre has very unique characteristics as to how the temperature works. If you overwork it, it gets very hot, wears down, grains, doesn't grip basically. If it's too cold, hasn't got the grip to bite into the surface. So you have to be quite cautious of that. Alright, so Diablo's still in the lead. Looks to be solidifying this race now. Burntfire's looking in his mirrors at a BMW that's aiming to catch him. So Diablo just breaks a little bit deep there. Looks like he's lost it on the... Yeah, he's lost it. This is where it happened. So Diablo lost it. Just comes back off. He's gonna lose out to Burntfire, I'm afraid. Hasn't quite got that like under control yet. This is where I'm gonna review this because I remember this happening. So we'll just watch it unfold. Diablo's still racing me through this corner. A little bit of contact made there, cost me a little bit of time. We both went out wide. That's going to put Burntfire into the lead. We're going to go back to that in just a second. But yeah, that's where it happened. I remember it happening about lap 13, so that's why I went back. So let's review. So, going to go on board with me for now. So you'll see the yellow flag thing come out. Oh no, it doesn't. Right. So we're going to watch this actually, because this is... I feel like I need to talk you through this. Talk you through my thinking. So here. So Burntfire's gone through on his right hand side. I know Diablo's gone off on the left. And I know we've got a left-hander coming up. So there's a little kink in the left-hander. So we'll just play it and I'll stop you at the next important bit. So here. The only space available is on the right. It's the racing line. It's technically the way you need to be to make a quick entry into the next turn. It looks to me at this point like Diablo's letting me take that corner because I've got a speed advantage. If you look at my speed, I'm doing 106. He's doing 88. So at this point, I'm quicker. I'm going to overtake him. Let's get back in the car. Right, so let's see what happens next. Diablo then moves to cut that line off, which at the time I did think was a little bit poor, but in fairness, he's probably just... I've done the same before, because you just want to get back up to speed. If you've been leading a race like that, and I'm not calling you out on this one, Diablo, because to be fair, I've had a little bit of time to think about it, and I'd have done the same thing. So I can't call you on it. But it did annoy me at the time. So I then switch. I do have to get out the throttle. It does cost me time to Burntfire. I have to get back off the throttle, then go immediately back on the attack, because obviously at this point now I'm driving angry. So you'll see, I like break into here. I do make the corner. Corner's mine. There's a little bit of banging here. I felt like Diablo should have given me that, but I get past. Anyway, let's continue. So our new race leader is Burntfire bugger. Then it's me, and Diablo has just cost himself a fair chunk of time there. Again, probably just like me, probably pissed off and wanting to get himself back up to speed. I've raced with Diablo a lot. I know he's a fair guy. I'm not calling him out, but I just felt that needed to be covered. If I don't cover these things, people will ask why. Cutler's in fourth. He's going to the end now. He wasn't able to capitalise on that issue ahead because of his pit stop. Like, he's just too far behind. The battle is now me versus Burnfly. Remember, right now I'm pissed off and I'm not racing as nicely as I should be. I'm angry, wound up, kind of felt that I should be closer to Burnfly at this stage. If I didn't have that little tussle there, I'd be right on his chuff because I was building that gap back. The gap at this point was about 2 seconds, I think, if I remember rightly, about 2 seconds, and I was still at this point bringing him in. So this is the part of the track that I'm quicker. I just wish GT Sports split time thing worked on the on the left hand side, because it doesn't. It's annoying. But the view Burnfly's got is this, and I'm getting ever closer. Credit to Burnfly, he raced really well. After the start he made, didn't really put a foot wrong or race, to be fair. Pit stop strategy was spot on. Racecraft was spot on. Drove that car, which is difficult to drive, really well. So as much as I thought the win was mine, you know, he deserved it 110% based on this so far. I've got a couple of laps to go, of course, so anything could happen. Top 3 still really close. I have pulled a little bit of a gap now to Diablo. I'm now just chasing down Burnfly. Further back in the field, Cutler's still in 4th. He's got F13 behind him, who's not... I don't remember them gaining on each other again, but F13 has got Pay not far behind him. Vial is running around in 7th currently, with Buddy in 8th. Buddy's just bought a new wheel, so I think he's still getting used to the new wheels. He's a Fanatec Elite now. It's a lovely bit of kit, by the way, but I think he's just getting used to that. And Dragon Eagle, who was up ahead, but unfortunately has dropped down the field somewhat. Medium tyre not working well for that Audi. Meanwhile, Burnfly running around in 1st. I'm gaining, and I'm really, in fact, we'll just stay on board with me now, because from memory nothing else happens further down the path. I've only got a couple of laps left anyway. Might as well get a bit of a POV, so I'll turn the game down a little bit. There we go, so you can hear me. Gaining loads going into that chicane because my braking is just quicker. Not quicker, sorry, I was able to brake later. Now I'm on the soft tyre, I can push, I've got plenty of fuel. Just compare fuel between me and him. Yeah, we've both got plenty of fuel. I wasn't able to push out of this corner as much as he was. He's getting better exit speed out of that corner. That Lambo's just quicker in a straight line anyway. So all the advantage I've built up in that last lap, he's just pulling it back. So we're on the 16th lap now, so 3 laps to go, including this one. I know I can get onto the back of him. Getting past him is a completely different story. Me and him have had a few battles in the past, and I've won a couple, he's won a couple. We're generally pretty evenly matched. I'm in good form with this BMW at the minute. I've won quite a few races recently with it after a bit of a shaky start. I've got a good setup on it. I kept my Blue Moon setup on this one, which is mainly geared to exit speed out of corners, which is probably why I'm beating him in this bit, because that Lamborghini is naturally geared to higher speed. whereas I'm more about the acceleration. So think of it versus hybrid versus Group C. I can pull through the corners a lot quicker than he can, but you put a straight and he's gone. So you can see how much I gain in that braking zone. I'm just on him. So now I'm thinking, yeah, I'm close to slipstream. I can taste the petrol coming out the back of his car. And I just need to make sure I hook this sector up. All I was thinking of is I just need to hook these last few corners up and just stay in his coattails. If I can get a slipstream and get him to pull me along that first sector, then I was happy days. I think I just remember being a little bit too far back here. You know when I'm in the slipstream, because he starts weaving about the track, trying to break it. But a good lap in, you see how dark the track is. Track temps here are awful. So down we go. He just takes that corner a little bit too wide. That costs him a little bit of time. 2 laps to go now. You can see I'm thinking I can do this. I can get him. And I'm really close. We're coming into the sector now where I'm quicker. So I should be right on his chuff after the next few corners, because his BMW just pulls out of these corners really well. I've got my tyres in a good working window. I've got a little bit of tyre wear kicking in, but I can handle that. I'm kind of used to it. You can see I'm gaining. He's just pulled away a little bit there, but I should be able to pull him back in. You see the Lamborghini starting to struggle with the back end a little bit. So now I'm well within that slipstream. You'll soon start to worry about that a little bit now. There's a butterfly knows I'm there, don't get me wrong. And he certainly knows now, because he'll have a mirror full of BMW. So he affects his line going into this corner, and start to pull that back. Again, thinking, need a good sector here. If he can tow me along, the straight, then we're in. So I get a half decent exit out of here for once. You can just see, even though I got a decent exit, the Lamborghini's just going. So yeah, he's starting to worry about that slipstream. Can't make any more moves now. He's got to commit to his line. Final lap. Less than 2 minutes to decide the winner of this race. Brake as late as I dare, and I'm right on the back of him now. He will just get mirrors full of me. We're both driving right on the edge. Tyre wear's kicking in. We've been racing solid for an hour or so, because we did this straight after the sprint race and qualifying. So we'll both be tired. I give him a little tap here, it's because I can brake later. So I wasn't expecting him to have to brake as early as he was. That tap cost me. I think if I could have avoided that, I'd have stayed closer to him. I have to then back off a little bit more, because obviously I don't want to gain anything through contact with someone else. I know my opportunity is coming up though. I know if I don't pass him by the hairpin, I ain't passing him at all. So you're about to see how that turns out. He knows I'm in the slipstream, he knows I'm quicker into this hairpin, he's gone it, he doesn't want to give me any advantage. And I just get it all wrong. And I get on the power a bit too much. I actually don't know what happened. At this point I'm actually, I'm glad I'm not live streaming this, because I was shouting at the TV. But yeah, I don't know what happened there, because you see on the inputs, my throttle inputs are minimal. Just bad timing, I think, tyre wear, who knows. So anyway, race number 2, a hard-earned victory for Burnt Fry. He's done well for this one today. Well done to that man. A little bit gutted it wasn't me. I do come through to solidify second. And Diablo, probably gutted to drop a few points to Burnt Fry, but he's in third. 2 stopping Cutler. I think if he could have made that pit stop strategy work, he could have been up there with us guys today, because he had some real pace in that Ferrari. Pay comes home in 5th position, and then a closely fought battle between F13 and Viali. It's going to be Nextgen, does Viali get it? No, just by a hair. F13 and Viali, they were racing right to the finish line. Buddy's had a bit of a disappointing one after being collected at the start. He comes home in 8th. And Dragon Eagle is going to bring it home for 9th position. So, well done to all racers in this one. Got one race left. So, let's talk to you about some stuff now. So, just before we close out the video, I'm going to be live streaming the race on Wednesday, so tune into the channel on Wednesday night. I'm going to have just got home from work when it starts. I think it starts about 8 or half 8. I'll check. But literally, I get home at 8, so I'm gonna do some practice early on. Circuit de la Sarre 50-minute endurance race. BMW is terrible in a straight line, as we've just seen. I could do with finishing ahead of... In fact, let me tell you the tables after that, because we've obviously had them updated since then. Let me just get my phone. 1 second. This is professional production, isn't it? Just some dude sat in a chair checking his phone. So, MRC versus... There we go. Right, so the tables, as they stand then. So, Burnt Fry and Diablo separated by 39 points. Because it's an endurance race, the points are doubled. So you haven't got the opportunity to earn 2 sets of points, you've only got the opportunity to earn 1, so it's double points basically. Diablo needs a win basically. Burnt Fry can't race because he's going to Goodwood Festival of Speed, so if Diablo wins, he wins the championship. Behind him, third is Pay, in a bit of no man's land. Again, he can get second in the championship. He's 4 or 5 points adrift of Diablo, so he can get second, but he can't win. Cutler currently holding 4th, but the battle for 4th is very close. So Cutler's on 227 points, I'm on 226, Buddy is on 204. So either one of us three, with the right result, I've not worked out all the permutations yet. If I beat Cutler, I've got 4th. If Buddy beats me and Cutler, but has to finish quite a way ahead of us, then he gets 4th. So any one of us can really do that, technically. So yeah, it was a good set of races. I'm really enjoying this league. I wasn't at first. I was getting really mad with it because I was learning how to use a wheel basically by doing this. But now I've done that, started to really enjoy it. Be kind of disappointed when it goes. I should be back in it next season. We will see if they invite me back in for another go. For the time being, I'm having fun in the it's the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. So that's in GR4 cars. We're going to cover that one in the next set of videos. They might well be out after the live stream on Wednesday. I don't know. My schedule for the next week or so is a little bit crazy. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I think we've got the finale of a race tomorrow night as well. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna plan out. Anyway, we'll see. So that's it. That's us. That's the race reviews. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Sorry these are late. Have a good one.